Yet another deadly tornado ripped through the American Midwest on Wednesday, this time southeastern Missouri. Several people were killed in Bollinger County in the predawn twister, according to officials. Aerial footage showed the extent of the damage, with roofs sheared off houses, trees splintered, and power lines downed. Missouri Governor Mike Parson said the rural area faces, quote, a long journey ahead towards recovery, and added that President Joe Biden had called to offer help. Storm spotters reported seeing the tornado touch down around 3:30 a.m. local time, according to the National Weather Service. The agency also said it was one of more than a dozen seen in the Midwest overnight. The twister struck amid a series of violent storms sweeping through the South and Midwest.
Oh my God!
On Tuesday, dramatic eyewitness video captured the moment a tornado whipped through a field in Iowa. While footage shot in neighboring Illinois showed terrifying scenes as the storm hit a residential area. More than 30 people were killed over the previous weekend as tornadoes tore through multiple states in the South and Midwest. And a week before that, a swarm of thunderstorms unleashed a powerful tornado that destroyed the Mississippi Delta town of Rolling Fork and killed more than 24 people.
Donald Trump called on his fellow Republicans in Congress to defund the FBI and Department of Justice, a day after pleading not guilty in New York to 34 felony charges. Posting on his online platform, Truth Social, the former U.S. president lashed out at federal law enforcement, saying both bodies had been weaponized by the Democrats to interfere with what he falsely claimed were already under siege elections. He also claimed that the indictment against him has no merit and there was no crime committed. But while Trump is taking aim at federal authorities, they are not the ones pursuing the unprecedented charges against him in New York. They are leading some of the other legal challenges Trump faces. 2 Justice Department criminal investigations headed up by special counsel Jack Smith. One over Trump's efforts to overturn the results of the 2020 elections, and the other on classified documents the former president allegedly retained after leaving office. Both of those have seemed to accelerate in recent months. After returning to Florida from New York, Trump accused Smith of targeting him rather than President Joe Biden over keeping documents.
Everybody's done. In fact, Hillary Clinton got rid of 33,000 emails, and that was okay. But nobody's done it like Joe Biden.
However, it's unlikely Congress will take Trump up on defunding. While Republicans control the House, Democrats lead the Senate, and it will be a sharp turn for the GOP. In the past, Republicans have supported strong funding for law enforcement, and in recent years have criticized proposals from the left to defund local police. Trump himself appointed current FBI Director Christopher Wray after he fired Wray's predecessor James Comey in 2017. The state of Georgia is also probing Trump on whether he unlawfully sought to overturn his 2020 election loss there.
Надеюсь, что наша встреча положит начало конструктивному обсуждению фактов, а домыслов выйдет сложным конфликтом. Мы ведем открытую информационную политику и всегда готовы.
As Russia takes on the presidency of the Security Council, we will use every opportunity to push back on their using their perch in the chair to spread disinformation and to use their chair to push support of their efforts. So it's for that reason today that we have opposed their ARIA formula briefer, a woman who has been charged with war crimes, who has been involved in deporting and removal of children from their homes to Russia. And we strongly are opposed to that, and that's why we've joined the UK in blocking UN Web from being used to allow her to have an international international podium to spread disinformation and to try to defend her horrible actions that are taking place in Ukraine.
More than a year into Russia's full-scale invasion, Alex, a translator with no military experience, is training to ambush enemy forces in one of Ukraine's newest military units in a secret location. He's part of the Border of Steel, the name of one of 8 new storm brigades totaling 40,000 soldiers that Ukraine wants to use during its counter-offensive against Russian occupiers in coming weeks or months.
Well, I want the war to be over as soon as possible, and I hope that the strike brigade will make it a lot faster. So I want to be more effective. That's why I chose it.
Alex declined to give his surname for security reasons. The units have benefited from an aggressive recruiting campaign on social media and billboards with the aim of attracting highly motivated volunteers. The drive comes as Kyiv may face growing challenges recruiting new troops. Its forces have been weathering a Russian onslaught for months in towns like Bakhmut in the east, where thousands of soldiers have died. Kyiv does not disclose its military losses. The new brigades are not part of the army. They're drafted by the Interior Ministry and will fight alongside regular army units bolstered by new Western battle tanks and thousands of fresh troops trained by allied armies outside Ukraine. Interior Minister Ihor Klimenko.
We have a large mobilization potential and a huge human and patriotic potential in our country. This includes women too.
Border of Steel is commanded by Valery Paditel, who led Ukraine's border guard forces in the defense of now occupied Mariupol, where he was captured and later freed in a prisoner swap.
We will keep training. We will train all the time while the brigade is being formed and while we are waiting for battle orders. We will be deployed when required, when the military leadership decides, when we will be told that our time has come, that we need to perform tasks given to us.
A great deal is riding on the counteroffensive for Ukraine. A bungled and bloody attempt to seize back territory from Russian forces could dim optimism among key Western backers and push them to encourage Ukraine to seek negotiations with Moscow. Russian forces still occupy tracts of the east, the strategically important south, and the Crimean Peninsula.
Outside a preschool in Blumenau, in southern Brazil, parents console each other after a fatal attack at the school. Police allege a 25-year-old man wielding an axe gained access to the private school by scaling its walls. He has since been arrested.
No local, nós constatamos o óbito de 4 crianças.
Among the victims, said a firefighter, are 3 boys and a girl between the ages of 5 and 7. Of the injured, one of them was listed in serious condition, he said. The injured are between the ages of 3 and 5, a local hospital said. President Luiz Inácio Lula da Silva described the attack as a monstrosity on social media. Community members living near the preschool came to lay flowers and pay their respects to the young victims.
We live here in the region. We have children studying at schools near the kindergarten, and we put ourselves in their shoes. They could have been our children too. I hope that everyone comes here to bring some support. It's not an easy situation. It's quite difficult.
The attack comes nearly a week after a 13-year-old student stabbed a teacher to death and injured 5 others in Sao Paulo.